Welcome to another Wednesday. We're going to do more and more painting outdoor. It's just fun and being in the sun and being outdoor. I already spent about a couple minutes did the sketching. So I'm going to have this 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to try this brush from the same maker. And I also have this calligraphy brush. I want to introduce my travel small paint set. Those are the essential colors: lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, and then the red, burnt sienna, burnt umber, alizarin, and then the green, Windsor blue, green, Windsor blue, red. And then I have these 3 colors actually straight from the tubes. So when I need to have some thicker color, I can go to these 3 colors a little bit faster. Okay. Now I'm going to start it. First, I'm going to start with this brush. A friend of mine gave me a few samples of brushes. I haven't tried this one yet. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have the blue colors right in the sky. Start it. And try the red shade. Okay, I'm going to try it from the top over here. And usually when they're painting outside, you don't have much time. You have to make up your mind quicker, faster. The bottom over here, a little bit lighter. Like that. Leave a little white space for the impression of the cloud. So I'm gonna, on the top over here, I'm gonna have a little bit more blue. My paper is about like 20 degree tilted. So that's just good. And now I'm gonna coming down to the ground a little bit quicker. Now I'm gonna take this burnt sienna a little bit quicker, like that. Have a few color right over here. Here you go.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Great. I'm gonna start having some background green color. But this needs to be a little bit gray. We have a little bit more red color. So I'm going to take this green color to see how much is it. I'm going to take this green color. One of the challenge with this paint set, it's just so tiny. I'm going to take the brown color instead. So because the brown already have the yellow, red, and blue, but more red and yellow. So when I'm looking for that a little bit more red, I can just go to the burnt sienna. Could be a little bit shortcut and faster. Now I'm gonna come into the background over here, and the background, the color need to be a little bit less saturated. Think about the timing. It's always important. So I maybe have the shape alter a little bit. So I'm gonna have this color a little bit darker, a little bit less water. If that make the color a little bit darker. So I'm gonna put that little shape over here to see how much suggestions it can give. Now I'm gonna have this a little blue color, but too bright. So I'm gonna have a little bit burnt umber mixed to it. So this is the shadow at the bottom, and that's good. And I'm gonna paint the cone shape small tree a little bit later. I use a slightly brighter color. And okay, now I'm gonna come into the house. I'm rotating my painting process so we have the time to let those areas dry. And this is getting dry, but it's not that dry yet. So I'm gonna have a little burnt sienna. I'm gonna have a little bit for the rooftop. So very light. Like that, because it's in the sun. Okay, coming over here. That's good enough. When we have the darker tree in the back, the rooftop would pop a little more. So I'm gonna have the burnt sienna and put in the fence here too. I'm gonna leave a little bit light shape. Like that. Make it a little bit interesting. Now I'm gonna put a little bit darker shape for the very, very dark. So I'm gonna take a little bit red color from here. Make sure the color a bit thicker. So here you go. Have that. I have the little blue color, pleasant blue. That's what I have. Okay, and we're gonna have a little bit of burnt umber. The burnt umber have a little bit more yellow than the burnt sienna, so that's good. Have a little bit. I'm gonna have this. You may be thinking about, oh wait, that actually is not the purple or brown. It actually more of the green. I'm looking for value first. Okay, so we can overlay the yellow color a little bit later, but first get the value correctly. That is most important.
Yong,
Hi.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, in using the burnt umber and the burnt sienna,
Yeah.
are these complementary to the primary colors that we use?
I would say it's the shortcut, but I would not recommend they use those color at the beginning, because that would, you need to understand the three primary color, how it works to mix all colors before you go jump to the shortcut, like take a purple color, take a brown color, take a green color, something like that. Those I would consider more like a shortcut to us. It will helping on top of the three primary. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, that was my question.
Yeah, the brown color, those are a mixture from all three primary color together. Usually it's not on the color wheel. It actually in a more of the complex color. And so we're gonna talk more about that. The brush stroke is very important because you can accomplish so much by using one brush stroke. Otherwise, the painting speed would be very slow. Right?
So
Yong.
Hi.
Shore is asking, would these shortcut colors be better for plein air painting because of time constraints?
Yes. So well, usually the artists going out to do plein air, they're not exactly absolute beginners. So they already understand and pretty confidence with the color mixings with the three primary colors. So when you get to that, you should be feeling more free to use other colors to help you to paint a little bit faster. Yeah, do more practice at home before you're going out. So you feel a little bit more confidence just by using the three primary colors. And when you look at the brown color, you don't want to think as a brown color. In your head, you're thinking about some yellow, red, and the blue color in it already. Whether or not you're going to use the burnt umber, the burnt sienna, you're going to make a choice, right? So when you're seeing any color, the same thing like looking at the object in front of you. Anything that you're looking at, you're only thinking about the three primary colors.
I have a question here on the calligraphy brush that you're using. They are, the viewers are very interested. Are you enjoying using it? And how well does it load the water and the color?
Interesting. That's a very good question. If the materials and tools I don't enjoy using, I don't show it. This is what I like to use. Maybe from time to time, the thing that I like to use may be different. But at this moment, I really enjoy using it. Thank you for asking. Yes.
Was a new member.
A new member. Okay. Hi. Okay. Now that I just put a little color, very soft. I still have some spaces I need to fill in the color first. I'm gonna take this color, add a little blue, and I'm gonna have the catch the shadow.
Time.
Hi. Now also on this side have the shadow side. It's similar color. In the morning, usually you see a little bit more blue. I'm gonna have this color like this. I'm gonna let that have the glass reflection. a little bit different. Okay, now this need to be a little bit darker. So in fact, I'm gonna paint the whole thing. I'm gonna add other color on top. So like that, because you first looking at value is very important, and before you're looking at the color. Okay, when I take this color, also on the top over here has the color actually carry on from the color of the tree. That's okay, like that. And now under over here has a little bit line. Now the rooftop now it in the shape. Now I'm going to move the color a little bit over here because I tilted the paper so the color actually keep coming down. So I need to remove the little bit color and then add the color a little bit later. But at this point, I'm going. Yeah, hi.
Somebody's asking, do you recommend to first draw using pencil and then add the color?
Yeah, it's totally up to your personal preference. And today, because we don't have much time, so that I do a little pencil drawing. But the pencil drawing is really rough. Just spend a couple minutes after I set up over here. So I would like to challenge you without the pencil drawing. Just paint the same way like the oil painters, how they paint, right? They don't not necessary to use the pencil or charcoal to draw before they paint. They just put the brushwork on it, and that would be okay. The house, the darker value next to the lighter value is already there. This is good. So now I need to add a little bit green color on top of this to make it feel like this is actually some leaves over here. So, but looking for the value first because my color is so light. It actually.
What I'm asking is if when you're painting outside and it has to be done quickly, do you have time to do any lifting?
Depends, and the lifting doesn't really take very long. So I'm probably gonna do a little bit lifting a little bit later. So do I have time to do a lifting? It's a good question. And it depends on what kind of paper you use. If you use the paper can afford you to do lifting, it would make you feel better than just use white on top. It doesn't look like cohesive, consistent. At some point, some paper that cannot do much lifting or the color cannot let you to do much lifting. In that case, yeah, use other way. Now I'm coming into the background over here at the second round. Now I'm gonna keep a little texture like that.
This is an opportunity to address that. Melinda Graham is asking.
Hey Melinda, you are here.
Colors feel harmonious, or do you use only a few colors for each painting?
Oh, this is interesting. Using the simpler color palettes, it actually make it easier to consistent. Yeah, I agree with that. Every time when you say it, I think it's all personal preference. I'm not gonna say that you have to stick with my color palette, but this is how I see colors, and I have my own system when I am thinking about colors. In my eye, I see different things than other people see. Stick to what works for you. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend to try my system to see how it will work for you. Okay? Let's not say my system is the best, but it worked for me. Okay? But eventually, everyone gonna come down to your own comfortable system. I'm gonna have a couple more lines over here, and actually the painting now coming coming together very nicely, and it's already have enough to support my observation. I just add a little bit of the shadow at the front over here. This is good. And on the row, I think I can have a little bit more burnt sienna. I'm gonna have it on this side like this. I think a little bit wash, so I'm gonna bring that a little bit more texture at the front, and maybe over here a little bit lighter. Now this consider lifting, right? So do I have time to lift? Yeah, I lift all the time. And sometimes I lift it when it's wet, sometimes I lift it after it dries, right? So I think the background over here, and it's kind of interesting, but I want to alter the shape a little bit. Look at this, the texture, and kind of interesting. I'm gonna soften that a little bit. I'm gonna, after it dries, I'll come back. Now this time I think I'm gonna come to the tree behind the house. I need to be darker, so I'm gonna have a little bit blue colors. When I look at the color, it's just judging by what color it has. What are the colors? I'm gonna have this a little bit green color. Green has yellow and blue color. So if I need some yellow and blue colors, I'll just go to the green. But I don't want to think it as there's the green color. Okay. That's a good habit to think the three primary. Okay, now just use the side of the brush to create some feeling of the tree. Now that's good, right? Now pretty good. Like that.
You've made a mundane scene look very interesting.
If someone just dropped in, was not here last week, you can look at last week's video, and that about the composition idea. Today is based on last week's study. Okay. Yeah, try to make everything internalized from for everything you see to create your own ideas in the painting. It's very important, being creative. Now I'm gonna come to the front over here. I'm gonna just get a little yellow color here. Make it a little bit brighter. As I said, you don't have to think it's a green color. Everything is a yellow. So I see that how much yellow color is that, how much blue color, how much red color is in that. It's just become a very simple. Now I'm gonna get a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna come to use this small calligraphy brush. It's still my favorite. Take a little bit dark color. First, use it for a couple lines for the fence in the background, like that. And now a little bit dark color on the shadow side of this tree. Make it stand out a little bit. That's good enough already. Now I'm gonna have some darker color, and I'm gonna have some Prussian blue, make it a little bit thicker. If you want to have the color thicker, that you would need to have the fresh color from the tube a little bit faster. Okay, like that. Have some shadow. Okay, and now I'll come into over here to give a little bit backlight feeling, the shadow of the tree. Okay, everything start from observation. So don't rely on someone else's paintings. It doesn't really work because everyone has different situation. Every time you paint it, you have a different situation. So it's totally different. So I'm going to add some detail to the house.
It looks like you have a nice sunny day there in Massachusetts, so you'll have lovely shadows.
Yeah. Members coming from all around the world, it's kind of like interesting when we talk about morning and they say evening. When we talk about summer, they say winter. Sometimes it's kind of interesting to hear and sometimes a little confusing. for the people get used to only think about local, right? It's just not really local anymore. We are international community. Okay, I'm gonna paint the window over here. And when I say window, I say actually I'm looking at shapes. So it's just the way I communicate. But however, when I'm looking at it, it's all about how to make the shape look interesting. When you think about shapes, allows you to free yourself from trying to looking for the representational. Sometimes you can go a little bit more abstract going on. I also squint my eyes so I can see the whole impression. I'm gonna have a little bit translucent yellow color and coming in over here too. Okay, so I just try to give a little texture. Now the value coming together pretty nicely. So I'm gonna make this a little bit softer maybe. And the background, the tree, it looks okay. At this point, I'm going to introduce a little bit warm color, a little dry tree. And right in here, so I'm gonna have that coming a little bit with different kind of texture. Okay, like that. That's showing that is something interesting to look at. And okay, now this coming closer to the end of this painting section. So glad that you can make it. And now I feel like I need to do a little lifting. Now I'm gonna see. The paper I'm using is arches, cut from a bigger sheet. It's just going to lift a little bit out and showing that the pose coming through over here. And you can do a little lifting over here for the vertical, right? It doesn't really take long, and some people feel kind of like, oh, lifting, it takes forever. And imagine that the paper I'm using is not that easy to lift compared with other paper. Also over here, I'm gonna add a little bit red color. I'm gonna have a little bit more here. And also have a little red color over warm color on the top over here, just showing that actually something over here could be flower, could be other things. Okay, now also put a little red color over here, and like that too. Now I come back in here. I'm gonna have a little bit. Now it's a little bit more dry, so I'm gonna add a little bit clear shape, because the tree is pretty close to us at the front, right? And then next step, I would come to clear out. I'm gonna do a little lifting again, and I'm gonna clear that a little bit.